my guys.
Josh, could you talk a little bit about the timing of this deal? Because there was a lot of talk out there about, hey, this deal could have got done, last season, before last year, middle of last year. Were you just sort of content? Were you at all content to just let your performance ride and let the chips fall where they may, or what?
I mean, good things come to those who wait. For me, it was just to see, when that right opportunity was going to come and just maximize the value that I could bring and maximize the value that I think I should. But we agreed on both parts. It was like this. We could have went either way, but we agreed this is the timing, perfect timing for us. With OTAs coming up and, be there to see and be around Coach Ryan Nielsen and be around the guys for a little bit before I take off on my journey, what got me to here. So I really can't switch up, can't do anything different. My wife's been so helpful with me through this process, man. And because you never know, time is just different every year. Like, you want to keep doing the same thing at the same time, the same schedule, but you can't because life happens and things changes. So for me, it's like, okay, what do I do next? How do I handle it? How do I do this? My wife was just like, do the same thing, just extend it a couple times, so don't stress about anything. Because, I go train in Arizona, and I feel like that process got me to perform at a very high level, that got me mentally, physically ready to compete and to perform. And so for me, I was like, well, I got to get out there, I got to do this, but not knowing what my contract situation was going to be like. So my wife was really just like, Josh, take care of your body, trust the process, and just stay to grind. And when the time comes, the time will come when you need to go out there. So for me, it was just having the right mental headspace and staying focused and staying committed to what I do best and, staying in shape.
So just to be clear, you weren't antsy at all
before
last year that it hadn't happened or anything like that?
What I was told, man, you got until July 15th or July 12th or July 13th to that day. So I was like, I got plenty of time, but also wanted to figure out what my schedule was going to be like, how I was going to train, when I was going to train, So I'm glad we got the deal done here before, these classes start, or OTAs or mini camp or training camp, mandatory. So, I'm happy. Hopefully the organization's happy and the fan base is happy. But I know myself and my family's extremely happy, and, we're ready to move on.
Will you be here for OTAs?
I would be here for, the first couple weeks. That's why I was saying, figure out what I'm going to do. And, I've had this plan, and I'm just going to stick to it. I'm going to be here for the first couple weeks, to get in touch with the coaches, to know what the scheme is about, to get those basic, installs. And then, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what they expect from me. This is what they want from me. So now when I go train, I can do what I need to do.
You've said over and over you wanted to stay in Jacksonville, you wanted to be a Jaguar. How does it feel now that this is done and you're going to be here in Jacksonville?
Man, I'm first of all, I want to thank God first and foremost, believing in Him and trusting Him. I got my babies in the back. If y'all hear crying in the back, it's okay. I'm not ashamed. Those are my babies, and I love them. And they can do what they need to do because they're babies, and I love them. But, first and foremost, I want to thank God for, blessing me with the talent and blessing me with the dedication and the mindset and putting people in my circle to help lift me up when I wasn't feeling up to the task. So, I'm blessed. I'm humbled. Just too many words in my head is going on that I want to say, but can't really express it, right now. But, when due time, I will, express how I really feel, and because I want to cry because I'm so happy. I remember going back to my college days and figuring out if I want to go back to school or not. And I remember talking to Coach Stoops at the time, and he this is the first time I heard generational wealth, and not knowing what that word meant, not knowing the value of it, to knowing that I just had my son. I want to be with my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, for the rest of our lives, and just knowing what that really meant. And I took a bet on myself, gamble on myself, and it paid out. Became a first-round draft pick, 7th overall. Fortunate to come here and then, seeing the things through and not knowing that it's not the first contract, it's the second contract, and knowing that, I reached that point and I maximized on being patient, staying humble, staying on the grind, and staying dedicated to what I do. And so I'm very emotional right now, but, the job's not done yet, and that's why I want to tell the fan base, like, I'm extremely blessed and honored to get this paycheck or to get these checks, but I have to, I still set goals for myself. I was Defensive Player of the Year is my next goal. Winning a Super Bowl, being the MVP of it. I told you I'm a legacy guy. I know I'm rambling. I'm gonna ramble. I'm a legacy guy, and like I told myself a long time. And when I look back at my legacy, I look at my family. My sister has won a professional championship, so she's up on me. I think about this all the time. I know I'm super competitive. So I got to win a Super Bowl and be the MVP, and I could be up on. And I'm not going to stop until I get that. So, that's motivating me. That's bigger than money, So for me, if I can do that and bring the first one to Jacksonville, man, I will be, extremely – and be MVP. That's my goal. I'm not stopping until I get there.
Other than that kind of stuff, what do you have to do to kind of live up to the pressure that comes with this deal? Other than the Super Bowl stuff?
Again, like I said, doing what I do that got me here in the first place. And, yes, OTAs for me, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, it's to value that individual time that I have, that I can maximize my value and come back with a purpose, and come back physically in shape and mentally in shape, that I could go and perform at a very high level, and it worked for me. And so for me, why not do what got me in there in the first place? I know it probably, he's not voluntary, he's not here. My teammates know I love them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know I'll do anything for them. They know I'm one phone call away. My sons, are playing sports on the weekends. I'll fly back every week, to see them. So, the dedication to not only myself, my craft is very important, but my family and my relationships are also very important as well. So, if I can value, like my wife told me, staying to the grind, staying focused, and doing what got me there, and because I believe that I'm the best defensive player in the National Football League, and if I can show it last year, and if I can keep proving it and doing what got me there, if I can stay confident, stay healthy, and obviously we keep getting better. We just signed Trayvon. Trayvon called me, and he said he had a day off, but he wanted to go work out, because that motivated him. Like, seeing what I got motivated him. So it's like, to have a guy like Trayvon keep getting better and better and better each year, it's only going to make me want to have to get better, because I got to be the best player on this team. So I'm always competing with him. He knows that. And then we got added Eric Armstead, who I'm in awe about. I'm excited for him. He's going to be a great asset to this team. Can't wait to get to work with him. Can't wait to rush with him and against him to get to the quarterback. And it's going to push me to have that sense of urgency. And I'm excited for that.
How much do you know, Eric? I think you guys have the same agent, and just, what will that dynamic be? You, Eric, Trayvon, Roy, all these guys. How much better are you guys now on the defensive line?
First and foremost, you got to see how the lineup is going to be. I think that's important. You brought him here to play a lot. You just re-signed me to play a lot. Trayvon just come off a 10-sack season, who's only progressing. We have Roy, we have D-Ham, we have Adam. We just signed Jeremiah back. So you see the tools and the pieces that we have. And so it's just, first of all, how are we going to rotate that? How are we going to do that? What are we asking everybody to do? And then, like, going out there, once we have that front, this is where we're looking at. Or I know Coach Nielsen is a defensive line guy. If you want your best player to rotate inside, I've shown that I can play 3-tech on a guard. That's, everybody's good in the National Football League, but you know what I mean. Trayvon can go, Eric can go inside, outside. Roy had some outside stuff, so we can, rotate and see where everybody best fits. I think that's important, and I think that's priority number one. But then also, obviously, rushing with the guys and knowing what everybody's capable of is very exciting. And Yeah.
Josh, can you walk us through the last 24 hours? When did you get the call that the deal was done, and emotions for you?
You know, obviously I was, you know, every part of in the negotiating stages of this. So I was kind of up to date with everything and knowing that we were getting closer and closer. A little, you know, knickknacks that we wanted to get, they wanted to get. So just negotiating that part. But it got real, you know, when I don't know when it got real when we was like, we're there, you know, we're happy, we're never satisfied, but we're very happy with what we have in front of us, and you know, I went through a lot of emotions. Like I said, I'm very emotional right now. I'm kind of doing a good job on keeping my composure. I know once I start talking about my wife, it just, you know, like you don't know how much she's helped me throughout my career. But I can't get to that point right now. But it's very real, but very, very, like what you said, how do you hold up to these expectations? So for me, it's to get back in that lab, you know, figure out get back to doing what I do, training with a purpose, training with the mindset of that I am the best. And if they want to, we got a big target on our back. I think we've always have, especially now you look at our division, you know, it's gotten a lot more competitive, which I love, which brings a lot more national media to our division. We have when you look at every team has a premier quarterback. Now you look at the receiving core, you look at the offensive lines, you look at the running back rooms. You know, everybody's competing for the AFC South, and you know, I still believe we're top dogs, and you know, and I'm going to believe that. And you know, in my mind, the best defensive front is going to win these games, and I feel like we have a great opportunity to be the best defensive front in our division, which is going to lead us on to bigger and better things. So, you know, I'm excited to get to work. I'm excited to be around the guys again and know that this part is done and over with. And now it's to how can we win a Super Bowl, but how can we compete? I'm ready to compete.
What does this contract and commitment means to your family?
I mean, it's huge. This is our, you know, we talk a big about legacies and roots. And not to my home, but everywhere that I went, you know, I left an impact, you know, and started back in high school, you know, just living, you know, starting off really slow in high school and then, you know, progressing to being a 2-star recruit, you know, to feeling like I had a lot of doubters on my back. And then going to my high school, my senior year, leading the state in sacks, my first year playing defense, knowing that I'm capable of playing at a very high level, going into college as a 2-star recruit, like I said, and then and building my way up to becoming, you know, the 7th pick in the draft, winning every National Defensive Player Award, to always proving myself wrong, and to now when I go back, it's home when I go back to Lexington. So leaving that legacy there that will never be forgotten. And then coming here to Jacksonville, you know, 2017 was a year they almost went to the Super Bowl. Almost doesn't count. They had a great team, Jacksonville, great defense, you know, offense that was progressing. And then you move on to 18, they didn't have success. I came in at 19, you know, we 6-10, told myself we can't get worse than this, you know, not understanding NFL, and then winning 3 games the next 2 years. And then Coach Peterson goes, we go to the playoffs and just, I mean, this is real, you know, like these are raw emotions and I'm giving you guys, and I'm honest, that like leaving, like what can I do to leave an impact? And, you know, last year was me figuring everything out. I know everybody talks about, it was a contract year, he was extra motivated. For me, it was figuring out life. You know, when you get thrown all this money, you get not thrown a family, but you build a family at a very young age. Nobody gives you a guidebook and say, hell, this is life. This is what you want to do. This is how you handle things. When the kids get old enough, you got to take them to this school. You got to pay these bills. You got to do tax. So it becomes a lot. And the faster you can manage and handle these, so you can just focus on football, and is the better. And I feel like, you know, my wife and I, we have grown We have grew so much throughout these years, and we thank each other every day that we didn't stay where we were whatever year in the past, because we still need to grow today. But this is something that we need to build for not only for us but for our kids. So it's just very special to leave a legacy. Again, let me get back to that. So last year, breaking the single season sack record wasn't because it was a contract year. Thankfully, it was a contract year, but if it was 2-3 years ago, I would have done it. You know what I mean? But it's just figuring everything out and putting the pieces together, building that confidence back up that I feel like I lost because I didn't live up to expectations that I know I could. So it was investing in here, investing into your body a little bit more than what you usually do, and being okay with the results that come with it. So for me, it's all right, that worked for me. Let me do it again. And so, I found out what works for me. I found out my plan. I found out my schedule. And, again, I thank God every morning, every night, and before I eat, that I'm thankful. And I am a humble servant under him. And my kids will be, my wife is, and my whole family is. And, I can't thank God anymore.
How supportive have Jaguars fans been through this whole process?
It's the last one.
Oh, man. I got to say one to John. It's kind of hard to stay off of social media, but I try to do my best, and so I'm not going to say I didn't read a lot of comments or concerns about what we were doing. You know what I mean? It's definitely hard, negotiating. It's ups and downs. It's, dang, they didn't feel like this. Oh, yeah, we're going in right. Like, dang. So it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. And then seeing that the fans really wanted me back. They knew what type of player I was on and off the field, man. So just having that local support behind me, I think helped. So shout out to all of Duval. They know I love them, and they know even when I remember sitting in one of the games and somebody say, "Josh, you gonna do something?" a couple years ago, I didn't let that hold me back. I want to use that for motivation, and it got me where I am today. So thank you to whoever that was. So,
Josh, the team showing their belief in you and saying you're the guy both a couple years ago and they drafted you in today. Just what does that mean to you?
It's special. I mean, this is my legacy. This is something that I've built. It's something that I work every day for. Something I'm honored to be a part of. I told myself when I got drafted here, I had two instances. I told myself everywhere. I told myself in Kentucky, to Coach Stoops, I want to be the best player you ever coached. I remember telling my rookie year, 2-star recruit, didn't know what a 2-point stance was, didn't know what a field boundary was, but I knew what I wanted. And I can argue that question, with him. I think I am, but that's his opinion. And then coming here getting drafted, I wanted to be the best defensive player to ever come out of Jacksonville history. And, I got 5 more years to keep stacking and stacking and stacking. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited for it. And whoever tries to come get my record, it's going to be a very tall task, and I'm going to make it very hard for them. I'm extremely blessed. I know I'm 10 sacks away from leading franchise history in total sacks, I think. And Tony Brackens, who's become a big mentor of mine throughout these years. And just to know that, I'm right on his heels, man, is a blessing. And I passed Calais, who was another mentor of mine coming in. So knowing that I did that, was huge. And then now it's Tony. I'm going to get emotional again, but I'm going to say that to my wife and I.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you guys for coming again. I appreciate all you.
Appreciate it.
Hey, congratulations.